Diastasis is a condition that many people have never even heard of. Yet there's a good chance you or someone you know is living with it without realizing it. One of the biggest misconceptions is that it only affects women after pregnancy. That's simply not the case. Men can develop it, children can have it, and even women who have never been pregnant may experience it. If you've been told that surgery under general anesthesia is your only option, take a moment before making that decision. In many cases, rushing into an operation can become one of the most unnecessary and costly choices you make for your health. Welcome to Wellness Science Hub. Over the years, many people have been encouraged to undergo procedures they may not have truly needed. Unfortunately, most medical appointments don't always leave enough time to explain every option available. That's why understanding your own body is so important. If you enjoy honest, easy to understand health information, make sure to subscribe and support Wellness Science Hub for more educational content. Let's begin by understanding what diastasis actually is. The medical term is diastasis recti, and it simply refers to a separation between the two large muscles that run vertically down the front of your abdomen. These are the muscles most people know as the six-pack muscles. One sits on the left side and the other on the right. Connecting them in the middle is a strong strip of connective tissue called the linea alba, a Latin phrase meaning white line. The linea alba isn't a muscle at all. Instead, it's made of connective tissue, much like the material that forms your tendons and ligaments. Its main purpose is to keep those two abdominal muscles securely connected down the center of your body. Surrounding these muscles is another important structure known as fascia. Fascia is a broad, durable layer of connective tissue that wraps around muscles from both the front and the back. In the middle of the abdomen, these layers merge together to form a strong central seam. This seam provides stability, helping your abdominal wall stay firm and supportive. Problems begin when this connective tissue loses its strength. If it becomes overstretched or less elastic, it can no longer hold everything tightly together. As pressure builds inside the abdomen, that central seam starts to widen. Gradually, the two abdominal muscles drift farther apart, leaving a gap running down the middle of the stomach. So what causes this separation in the first place? The most common cause is pregnancy. As the baby grows over the course of 9 months, the uterus expands significantly, stretching the muscles and connective tissues of the abdominal wall, including the linea alba. If the connective tissue is naturally strong, flexible, and resilient, it often begins tightening again after childbirth. As the uterus returns to its normal size, the abdominal muscles gradually move back toward each other, and the gap may shrink naturally over time. However, if that connective tissue was already weak or lacked elasticity before pregnancy, it may not recover completely. Instead of returning to its original shape, it remains stretched, allowing the separation to persist. The size of the gap can vary considerably. Some people may have a small separation of around 2 centimeters, while others may experience gaps measuring 3, 4, 5, or even 8 centimeters, over 3 inches wide. It's also important to understand that not every separation is abnormal. A gap of approximately 1.5 to 2 centimeters above the belly button after childbirth is often considered completely normal. In many cases, it's simply a natural result of pregnancy and doesn't necessarily require treatment. Sometimes it's just a normal part of how the body adapts after giving birth. There are 2 major mistakes people commonly make when dealing with diastasis. The first is choosing the wrong exercises. Many people assume traditional abdominal workouts will strengthen their core and close the gap, but certain exercises can actually make the problem worse. If you have diastasis recti, movements that require lifting your shoulders off the floor or raising both legs while lying on your back should generally be avoided. Here's why. Those movements dramatically increase the pressure inside your abdomen. As your abdominal muscles contract, your internal organs push outward against the weakened connective tissue. This extra pressure places even more strain on the stretched linea alba. Each repetition can continue pulling the tissue apart, making the separation larger instead of helping it heal. That's why classic exercises like sit-ups and crunches, often associated with building a flatter stomach, may actually worsen diastasis rather than improve it. For people with this condition, these exercises are generally not recommended until appropriate core rehabilitation has taken place. The second common mistake is assuming surgery is the immediate answer. When the separation becomes more noticeable, around 4, 5, or even 8 centimeters, surgical repair is often presented as a treatment option. In many cases, surgeons perform a minimally invasive procedure using small incisions. During the operation, the separated abdominal muscles are stitched back together, and in some situations, a surgical mesh is added to provide extra support and reinforce the repair. From the outside, surgical repair may seem like the perfect solution. Everything appears secure, the abdominal wall feels supported, and it looks as though the problem has been completely resolved. But surgeons often share a simple piece of wisdom: the best surgery is the one you never need. That idea carries a lot of weight. Based on years of observing patients, many cases of diastasis can improve significantly without an operation. In fact, surgery is often not the first or only solution worth considering. Instead of immediately choosing an invasive procedure, many people can begin with a much simpler approach. Targeted exercises designed specifically for the condition, improving the strength of connective tissue, correcting nutritional deficiencies, and using appropriate supplements may all play a role in supporting recovery. Now compare that with surgery. An operation involves general anesthesia, which places stress on the body. Anesthesia works by temporarily shutting down awareness, and while most people recover well, some experience short-term effects on memory, concentration, or mood afterward. Every surgery also creates scar tissue, and scar tissue can continue changing the way surrounding tissues move and feel long after the incision has healed. Because of that, it often makes sense to explore every reasonable, non-surgical option before considering an operation. The encouraging part is that many of the lifestyle changes aimed at improving diastasis don't just target your abdomen, they also benefit your overall health. It's helpful to think about diastasis from a broader perspective. Rather than focusing only on closing the gap between the abdominal muscles, the larger goal is improving the quality and strength of your connective tissue throughout the body. Here's the reasoning behind that idea. If you have diastasis, it means the connective tissue that holds your abdominal muscles together has weakened or stretched. In some people, this may be associated with connective tissue weakness that affects other areas of the body as well. Certain nutritional deficiencies, including inadequate vitamin D and essential minerals involved in collagen and connective tissue health, may also contribute to poor tissue quality. Ideally, these concerns should be evaluated with proper medical guidance. Blood tests can help identify vitamin or mineral deficiencies, allowing your healthcare provider to recommend appropriate treatment. As your body receives the nutrients it needs, healthy connective tissue can better support your muscles, and any rehabilitation exercises you perform may become more effective. One important thing to understand is that connective tissue doesn't exist only in one small section of the abdomen. It's found throughout the entire body. When its quality is reduced, other tissues may also be affected. That's why some people with weaker connective tissue may notice additional issues such as varicose veins, hemorrhoids, increased skin stretching, or stretch marks on different parts of the body. Some individuals may also experience unusually flexible joints, joints that click frequently, dental concerns, brittle nails, thinning hair, or significant nearsightedness. Certain heart valve conditions, including mitral valve prolapse, can also be associated with connective tissue disorders in some cases. These problems don't always occur together, but they may share underlying connective tissue characteristics in certain individuals. If you've been struggling with ongoing health issues for a long period, it may be worth discussing your overall metabolic health and nutritional status with your healthcare provider. Sometimes addressing the body's foundational needs can improve multiple areas of health rather than focusing on only one symptom. In that sense, diastasis can serve as an important signal rather than simply being an isolated problem. It encourages you to look deeper into the overall condition of your body. By strengthening connective tissue, improving nutrition, and following appropriate rehabilitation strategies, you're not just working toward reducing the abdominal separation. You may also be supporting healthier movement, greater physical resilience, and better long-term wellness. Prevention is equally important, especially after childbirth, since pregnancy remains the most common situation in which diastasis develops. As we've discussed, pregnancy itself isn't necessarily the only reason the separation occurs. The condition is influenced by how well the connective tissue can withstand stretching and recover afterward. To help support the abdominal wall during recovery, many healthcare professionals recommend using a postpartum abdominal support binder during the early weeks after delivery, followed by supportive compression garments if appropriate and advised by your healthcare provider. The goal is to provide gentle support while the muscles and connective tissues gradually recover. After the baby is born, the uterus quickly becomes much smaller, but the abdominal muscles and connective tissues that stretched over the previous 9 months need time to adapt. They cannot instantly return to their previous position. During this recovery period, external support combined with appropriate rehabilitation exercises and patience may help the body regain stability as healing naturally progresses. Having external support during recovery can reduce some of the strain on your abdominal muscles while they gradually move back toward their natural position. Instead of forcing the tissues to handle all the pressure on their own, that extra support gives them time to recover more comfortably. There's another factor that's often overlooked, and that's age. As we get older, especially after the age of 40, the body naturally slows down its production of collagen. Collagen is one of the main proteins responsible for giving connective tissue its strength and flexibility. Because of this, younger people often recover more quickly, while older adults usually need a little more patience before seeing the same level of improvement. Now let's talk about one of the simplest exercises that can help strengthen the deep core muscles involved in supporting the abdomen. The concept is surprisingly straightforward. If your goal is to train the muscles that help draw your abdomen inward, then that's exactly the movement you practice. Begin by gently pulling your stomach inward as much as you comfortably can. Imagine drawing your belly button toward your spine. Once you've reached that position, hold it there without letting your abdomen relax. While maintaining that contraction, try creating a few short, gentle pulses by tightening the muscles a little more each time, almost as if you're trying to pull your belly button even closer to your back. Continue breathing normally or use short, controlled breaths as needed, but avoid completely relaxing your abdominal muscles between each pulse. Continue until those deep core muscles begin to feel tired. You don't need to push through severe pain, but you should notice that the muscles are working. Once you've reached that point, slowly release the contraction and allow your abdomen to relax. Many people notice that their abdominal muscles feel more engaged immediately after performing this exercise because they're activating the deep stabilizing muscles rather than simply training the outer abdominal muscles. The goal is to strengthen the muscles that naturally help support the abdominal wall. As these muscles become stronger and work more efficiently, they may provide better support for the connective tissue between the two sides of the abdomen. Combined with appropriate rehabilitation and time, this may contribute to improved core stability. Some people with larger separations have reported meaningful improvement after consistently following a structured rehabilitation program under professional guidance. While results vary from person to person, regular practice can make a significant difference for many individuals. For most people, performing this exercise once each day is a reasonable starting point. Even if you don't have diastasis, strengthening your deep core muscles can improve posture, balance, spinal support, and overall functional movement. One of the biggest advantages is its convenience. You don't need a gym, expensive equipment, or a special workout space. You can practice it while lying down, sitting in a chair, standing in the kitchen, or even walking during your daily routine. If your abdominal separation is more significant, you may benefit from performing several sets throughout the day, provided you've been advised to do so by your healthcare professional or physical therapist. Consistency is far more important than intensity, and gradual progress is usually the safest approach. Many people assume that once they've had children, whether one pregnancy or several, their abdomen can never recover. Fortunately, that's not always true. With the right rehabilitation program, appropriate exercises, good nutrition, and patience, many people are able to build a stronger, more stable core over time. The key is choosing exercises that support healing rather than increasing pressure on the abdominal wall. The most important message to remember is this: if you have diastasis recti, avoid exercises like traditional crunches and sit-ups unless you've been specifically cleared by a qualified healthcare professional, since these movements may increase pressure on the weakened connective tissue in some individuals. Instead, focus on gentle, deep core activation exercises, Pay attention to your nutritional health and consider asking your healthcare provider to evaluate vitamin D levels and other important nutrients if deficiencies are suspected. Looking after your connective tissue is about much more than appearance. It's part of supporting the strength and function of your entire body. For many people, a thoughtful combination of targeted exercise, proper nutrition, and guided rehabilitation can reduce symptoms and improve abdominal function without surgery. However, every case is different, so treatment should always be based on an individual assessment by a qualified medical professional. Finally, remember that short medical appointments don't always allow enough time to discuss every non surgical option available. That's why learning about your body, asking questions, and exploring evidence based approaches with trusted healthcare professionals can help you make informed decisions about your health.